I tell you a secret, my real name is not David Bowie.
These are the days, these are the strangest of all. And the slow path leading us on and on. But who are we, so small in times such as these?
What was the mood of recording of Heathen? Was it you entered the studio, you heard the song, or you entered the studio and then you create the songs?
I wrote a lot of the stuff before we even thought about which studio we would go into. When I made the decision to record with Tony Visconti, I felt it important that we do really strong songs. So I was working very hard on the songs for some time before we went into the studio. And then once we got into the studio, the attributes and character of the studio itself started to colour how we did the songs.
Heathen is full of reference of your early works, but match with the new stuff on it. And was it the idea of the beginning, or it happened like that with the magic?
I think what you've got to remember, I think Tony and I, when we work together, have, I think it's called in other art forms, a signature style. So I think it becomes very apparent quite early when you listen to something, who was responsible for making it. And I think Tony and I have a real style when we work together. But I think the content, the subject matter, and the treatment of the songs is really not quite like anything that we've done before. I think it stands alone, like, say, Scary Monsters stands alone from Low, and Low stands alone from Young Americans and such and so forth. And I think Heathen stands away from all those. But you can tell it was something that we did together. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Our signature style. Yeah.
Yes. And the voice, which is the link of all the...
Yeah. Yeah, it's me singing all of them.
What are you...
So there is going to be a similarity, you know. Hey, what can I say? I'm singing the damn things.
What are you...
Hey, it sounds like David Bowie.
Yes.
He's copying David Bowie.
Is it you?
Yes.
What are your relationship with your songs and all your album? When you look back to your whole career, have you got a good relationship with your work?
I think I get a better relationship with my earlier work when I don't touch it for a long while. You know, if I stay away from it for a time, and then come back to it again, listen and maybe consider it for stage or something, then I start to, and I purposely look for its strongest points. And that's what we did this time around. I mean, I haven't done Low since 1978, any of the, like that many things from it. And I really look for its strengths this time to see how it would translate for stage. And, but of course you don't know that because we didn't do it last night. I usually think about commercial success about 7 hours after I finish the actual album. But not an hour before.
On stage yesterday, you were smiling and having fun from the beginning to the end of the show.
Yes.
Was it the crowd, or what did the alchemy of the fact that all the songs...
I was laughing at them.
Yeah.
I was smarter. I got so lost on the shore. I wish I was taller. Things really matter to me.
I think we all had a good time, huh?
Yes.
It was incredibly hot. But it was an enjoyable show, and I think the audience responded to what we were trying to do. I mean, we were in a strange place because we were doing songs that we haven't done for a few weeks, which is a nice thing to do because it keeps everybody like that, you know.
And all the songs matched together.
Well,
That's incredible.
the other night we did another show two nights before, you know, in London, and it was a completely different show, but completely. So I think that keeps us in. That's why I think we go on feeling pretty enthusiastic when I can keep changing the shows that radically. Because the 48 hours before, we'd only done Low and only done Heathen. That's all we did. That was the entire show. So last night was like, I suddenly said, no, we're going to do China Girl and all that. Oh, so they were trying to remember.
Sometimes I've had photographs taken, I've got no head, nothing, just a pair of shoulders there.
As a visionary, do you think we are living actually a very creative period of music? And what do you have discovered that really fascinates you and fresh?
I think there is some excellent music around. It's just it doesn't get played very much on. Well, I don't know the French radio system, so I don't know. But where I am, in America, I mean, it's impossible to hear good music. It really is. I mean, it's just over. And Britain is pretty hard as well to get to hear music that asks you to take part in it, you know, to kind of be active. There's some good stuff around. Let's see, who am I listening to that might be nice? There's a German band, electronic band called Mouse on Mars that I like very much indeed. There's a Canadian band called Godspeed You Black Emperor. Actually, there's another Canadian. Canadians do some interesting things. Oh, they gave us Neil Young. Hey. There's another band called Destroyer. They're really excellent. There's a New York band called the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. They're kind of intriguing. There's a fabulous sound band, just a guitar and a drummer, called Lightning Bolt. They're fascinating. There's yet another Canadian band called Hanged Up. Canadians are doing some really great stuff at the moment. They really are. They really are. But I mean, I don't know anything about the mainstream. I wouldn't have a clue what's on the charts. I mean, I don't know what's on the charts. I don't know. Elvis Presley, isn't it?
Yes.
Me?
Yes. From the sleeve to your record to the music.
And Robbie Williams, there you are.
Yes, I know.
He's okay, he's a funny kid.
He's an
I've seen
interesting
him in interviews and he's very funny, he's got a very good sense of humour. I quite like him, he's good. It reminds me of somebody called Dickie Valentine. He used to be an entertainer in Britain in the 50s. Reminds me a lot of Dickie Valentine.
And French music sometimes?
Yeah, let's see. Anything I've heard recently? Nope. I tell you what, no, I love Air. They really are, they're a favourite of mine. I think they're really terrific.
How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel?
I expect them to do wonderful things in the future. So that's a threat. You've got to be wonderful from this point onwards.
You are the reference for lots of successful bands such as Hair, Suede and Placebo. Is it difficult to live an everyday life as a reference, or you avoid that kind of stuff?
Oh, the terrible weight of the responsibility of influencing people is continually with me. I don't so much walk down the street, I kind of drag myself down on nah, it's simple. No, I don't feel any of that. It's nice. It's great to have influenced other bands, you know. I mean, it's very more than flattering. You feel it's a validation of what you do, you know. You think, yes, I knew that was good. I'm as anxious as everybody else is, yes, quite.
From the sleeve to your record,
Yes.
to the music, the videos, and the paintings you've done, image is still a major objective. And for you, is it as important as music still?
It is. I mean, I always saw it as a kind of... I like the idea of mixed media. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of my work in the very beginning was presented very much as in a theatrical context. They were as important to be taken in visually as they were to be listened to. And this still applies to me. I mean, I do take very great care about the visuals that are presented with the music. And the cover of this particular album owes an awful lot to a much earlier period, the 20s and the 30s, with people like Man Ray and Buñuel, and it takes a lot from that kind of, you know, stock, slightly surreal, spiritual thing. Videos reduce the power of so many songs by defining them and putting tops and bottoms on an idea, and there's nothing worse than kind of wrapping up with brown paper and string a nice postulation.
Can you tell us more about the adventure of the Meltdown Festival? The fact of programming and
I
also...
think it's surprised a lot of people. I think there's been some individual artists that have really struck people as being quite extraordinary. I tell you what, it was very, very hard to do from such a distance because I was organizing from New York, and that was terribly hard. If ever I did anything like that again, I think I would want to actually be in the same country that the festival is being run in. It was very hard. And it was a little sad that so many of the people that I wanted to do the festival were either, some of them, the bands had broken up, some were just recording and not willing to perform during this summer, and a couple were actually dead, so it was really difficult to pull the festival together. On the other side of that, the good things were that I was glad I was able to include such a lot of visual artists this time, which is the first time the festival has done that, and also presented Digifilm Festival as well, where there's some very, very good digital movies being shown. So overall, I was pretty satisfied with it, I think. Never forget your fans' birthdays. It's terribly important.
You are a fan of technology?
A little.
A little?
It's so tiring.
And what's your next challenge in technology?
To sell my computers. I think this is very important. Just get rid of them all. They take too much time. Oh, those are not sad things, are they? Not to me, they're a way of life.
You've done pop, you've done soul, you've done rock and roll nowadays still very good, in good terms, such as bands as Strokes and other things. Rock and roll still in your vein, is still for you the primary instinct of making music.
I think it's the spearhead for everything that I do. Yeah, I do like the vibrant, energetic quality of it. But I must say, I really have, I've always diversified, you know, I'm not a purist by any means. It's very important for me to pull in elements from so many other art forms and make them part of a vocabulary, a new vocabulary. I mean, that's kind of what I do, I think, maybe.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Bowie, thank you very much. I have
My
more
pleasure.
questions, but I know you don't have time.
You know what? I've had such a steady audience for so many years that it's been very rewarding. So I'm still here.
Dans Life, 3e édition.